What's up, everyone? My name is Morcie. I'm here as a spiritual teacher and guide. And today I'll be answering the question, can spiritual awakening be scary? We'll be diving into what it means to navigate the fear around spiritual awakening, this fear around this inner transformation. This inner transformation that is profound, it's quite enlightening, but it does bring up some frightening feelings, emotions, moments. Before we get started though, be sure you subscribe to this channel, like down below, and also turn those post bell notifications on so you know the next time I post. Enlightening and frightening. Navigating the fears around the spiritual awakening process. As we awaken, we're having the shift in consciousness. The shift in consciousness that is moving away from this false sense of self, one may say an ego identity, this false sense of self, into this expanded awareness. I like to say presence. We're having this shift in consciousness where there's a deeper awareness of the self and at the same time an expanded awareness of the self. And during these times, we do experience peace. We do experience this transformation that allows us to no longer identify with all these thoughts that are flowing through our mental field, all of these emotions that continuously arise. We feel relieved, we feel liberated, untethered to this world. I do find that there are some misconceptions around spiritual awakening, right? That it's always profound peace and bliss. But in many cases, there are moments where we feel fear because we're confronted with all of that we've been suppressing. We must face some deep-seated beliefs that we've held on to and truly lift the veil that had been, one may say, fogging our awareness. Each and every one of our awakening processes are unique. We all begin at different times, different moments in our lives. They all arise in different ways, but at the same time, we are awakening to much of the same thing as oneness, the recognition of the interconnectedness, the interrelatedness of the world around us. Even now in this video, hey, some of us, we're on different journeys, different parts of our awakening process. I'd like to share too that you have much courage. You're watching this video, you're going through a spiritual awakening process. It does take courage. In this video, we're going to chat about the fears that arise. It takes courage to face yourself. It takes courage to truly look at those deep-seated beliefs you were holding on to and choose to release and let go of what you've always known. So if you haven't, be sure you look yourself in the mirror and honor the courage that arises within you to step into and shift into this state of consciousness. Now, some of the fears that we might experience, they might stem from, one, facing inner demons, one may say. Facing these beliefs that we once held on to, right? Confronting suppressed emotions, past memories we don't want to relive, This is why in aspects of the journey it can be scary. This is why in aspects of the journey it doesn't always feel like bliss. I like to remind you that when it comes to facing, right, these suppressed emotions, these past memories, those moments which we don't want to relive, when we choose to be with ourselves in non-reactivity, we are experiencing it in a different way. Or one may say we're observing it, we're knowing it in a different way. Because I'd say it's beyond experience. You're at a vantage point. You're in recognition of your truest self, in observation. I notice for me, those moments where you have these memories of past mistakes, stupid things you've done that you don't want to remember, and then it just comes up, right? One may say intrusive thoughts. I found that this powerful practice of choosing just non-reactivity when they arise, honoring, hey, there's this little voice in the mind. It's there. It's going to say stuff. But it's not me. It's not you. Choosing to honor this practice fully, it allows you to look at, view, and observe these emotions, these past mistakes and memories at a vantage point, a new point of view, where you're in recognition that it can't hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. I find that when you're ready, when you are aware enough, choose non-reactivity. Choose to simply notice. This practice is liberating. Sure, there will be maybe some physical discomforts, but that's all transient. It's all temporary. The more we invite this into our life, the more we invite presence into our life, we recognize that this moment is the end in itself. This moment is not a means to an end. The practice of non-reactivity, which is ultimately your natural state, but we practice it because we're so used to reacting. This practice, it grants us this freedom, or it awakens us to our natural state, allowing us to recognize that peace and that bliss that's spoken about. It's not meant for us to try and chase it, right? Because that is a means to an end mentality. It's just being here. There's no expectations of the moment. Just experience the emotion. That is all. Experience it. Experience the rise and fall. Because your truest nature is that consciousness, the space in which all events rise and fall. Those are memories, they rise and they fall. The emotions, they rise and they fall. And what is left? What is left is you. Another reason we may experience fear throughout the awakening process is the dissolution of ego. I mentioned this in the beginning, right? Ego, the false sense of self. The false sense of self it dissolves, and one's entire self-conception, it begins to fade, and that can be a bit scary, a bit frightening. A bit frightening to know that you're not your personality, you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you're not the past, you're not the memories. That's not you, not in your truest, not in the truest form, not in your truest form. It's an aspect of being here in the world of form. I like to say playing in the world of form. so that we're not taking these problems that arise so seriously. We're not taking our challenges so seriously, right? This is when we begin to recognize those moments of, I would say, the benefits of awakening. It can be quite scary. I'd like to acknowledge that. I say this too. I've been teaching for a couple years now, and what I share here, it's been quite the norm. So when fear does arise, it doesn't feel the same as it did when I first started to awaken. And the reason why I was so inspired to create this video is I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about spiritual awakening process, and this individual just has chosen to step away for a bit because it's so scary, because the truth can be quite scary. And I do honor that aspect of life. I find that it is a part of the evolution of the human consciousness, this feeling of fear. Perhaps it's inevitable for us to feel it. And at the same time, we go beyond it, right? Because in awakening, we recognize that we too are beyond sensation. We are beyond sensation. We are beyond emotions and thoughts, right? Like down below if you recognize this. Like down below if you're resonating with that. The recognition that we are beyond the sensations, the emotions, the thoughts. And if you're new, it can be a little scary. But I'll share with you that fear, once again, it's transient. It's temporary. Your truest form, it remains the same. It's always here. It's unchanging, timeless, and inseparable from life itself. Another reason we may feel fear throughout the awakening process is we have these personal shifts. We begin to have this heightened sense of awareness around the energy of others. Perhaps some of you here, you may see auras. Some of you here you may hear voices in your head, and this to the general public, you'd be looked at as psychologically not okay. But in many instances, this is an aspect of awakening. You're tapping into other dimensions of reality, other dimensions of life. And that too can be quite frightening because you're like, where is this coming from? Am I okay? I find that one of the best ways to approach any of these experiences is to do so in a calm manner, to do so intentionally. A peaceful pause, I would say, pausing peacefully and allowing it once again to rise and fall. Recognizing that no matter what arises in your mind, no matter what message, no matter what feeling or sensation comes to you, it's not personal. When you choose non-reactivity, you're recognizing that these experiences, they're not personal. A peaceful pause is a brief, intentional moment of calm, alert awareness. When we choose to approach these experiences through a pause, a peaceful pause, we're doing so with grace. We're doing so with courage. We're doing so with awareness. A peaceful pause is a phrase that it came to me. I understand this is something that, many of us use, but in terms of the definition and how I share it here in my teachings, this is unique to what I share. And I created an ebook introducing peaceful pauses, introducing how we can use this inner practice to invite in awareness, to invite in space so we can respond to our challenges rather than react to them on autopilot. In this ebook, I introduce you to not only peaceful pauses, but outer practices that you can implement peaceful pauses in, like grounding in the present moment, taking one conscious breath, inner body scanning, gratitude, heart-centeredness, connecting to nature. So if you find that on this awakening process, there are moments where you feel fear and you don't know what to do, this book, it will introduce you to this powerful practice. So it's a free ebook. I encourage you to check it out. Link in the description. Another aspect of the awakening process that can be quite frightening, and honestly also, I feel this one too. I haven't even said it yet, but I can already feel the energy through me, the connectedness to this aspect, because I still experience it. And this is relationship changes in your personal relationships, not just romantic, but also friends and family. Throughout the shift in consciousness, the way you perceive the world, it changes drastically. It's much different than what your family and your friends are aware of. Your values begin to change, your interests begin to change. You're not as attached to and absorbed in the material aspect of life. It doesn't mean you're completely giving it up. No, I think that's also a misconception, completely giving it up. No, you're not completely giving it up, but you're just not absorbed in it in the way you once were. You're in recognition, once again, of a more expanded aspect of reality, the interconnectedness of life, and ultimately those things, they don't matter. They don't matter as much. And so this does have an influence on those we have around us in the moment. And that can be quite scary, can be quite sad in some moments. I want to remind you that this is an inevitable aspect of the process. I've gone through it. I still go through it. I choose to pause peacefully when the feelings of sadness arise, when the feelings of missing others arise. I choose to be there with it and experience it. I wouldn't say that every single time I am just letting it flow, right? I'd like to share that too. As long as I'm aware enough. And as of late, especially with teaching and with this YouTube channel, I found that there's such an ease in just letting it flow, and it happens more often. I always say these are all practices until they're not practices. Just like any practice in life, anything you practice, it doesn't have to be spiritual. It's all practices until you recognize that this is natural to you. Allowing emotions to flow, allowing memories to flow, in non-reactivity, not taking them personally. This all comes with enough awareness. It all comes with a peaceful pause. And I'm here as an example to share with you. Be gentle with yourself. Okay? There's nowhere to reach or to go. This moment is enough. Let go of all expectations. This moment here is what you need. How do you know that? Because it's the only moment there is. And the last reason why this can be quite scary is we may have existential questions about life, about death, about the nature of reality. And to the mind, the egoic identity, which is the identity that dies and comes alive, the identity that fades, it feels threatened by the idea of such questions, of questioning life, of questioning death. So that does bring up fear. Once again, that fear is not personal to you because you are not that ego. You're not that identity. You are beyond it. And so as we awaken and as we recognize our truest self, that is beyond this egoic identity, beyond those thoughts, beyond the rising and falling of emotions and thoughts and memories once again, we're able to no longer feel fear. And if we do feel fear, we allow it to rise and fall and let it be. Here in this moment, we're not racing for another moment, but we're here fully. Once again, I'd like to remind you of your courage during this process. There's not many of us, but going through this, we are influencing the collective consciousness. Each time you awaken, each time you pause peacefully, each time you choose non-reactivity, you are influencing the collective consciousness. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, and I honor your journey. If you do enjoy that ebook, Peaceful Pauses for the Overstimulated Mind, register for my course. This course, it goes beyond the ebook, and I take you along a journey of recognizing life as a meditation in and of itself. I take you along a journey of recognizing your truest self beyond the mind, learning how to release tension in your day-to-day and be here fully, truly getting to know yourself and honoring this process. That is both enlightening and frightening. But at the end of the day, it's incredibly enlightening, profound peace and insight. We awaken to the truth of who we are, and there's nothing greater than that. I mean, truly, that's why I'm here. So check out my course. The link is down below. Once again, my name is Morcie. If you enjoyed this video, be sure you like, subscribe, and turn those post bell notifications on. And be sure to comment down below. I'm sending you peace. I'm sending you love, wholeness,